Hello, Mark Red Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Lexi Kruger from Hastings.
From
Basically, you were
Hastings,
telling
yeah,
me that you moved here when you were
when
three.
I was 3.
So how? I mean, how do you like Hastings, and what is your background?
I'm 20.
Okay, okay,
So I graduated high school in 2021 from Hastings High,
okay,
and I love Hastings a lot. I feel
yeah,
like
okay.
when you were younger, it was kind of the cool thing to like hate your hometown,
True,
But like
very, very,
that
yeah.
was yeah, that was never me. I've always felt like Hastings is just very special.
I agree.
And I feel like there's just a lot of passion here, especially like in the downtown area.
Yes, I agree on that
Um,
too.
and it's just a very fun and exciting place to be. So I just really
Mhm.
love it. Yeah.
No, so okay, graduate? Did you ever want to go to college, or did you go to college?
Yeah. So I went straight to CCC,
Okay,
and I'm
okay.
still there right now.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm studying marketing.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
doing it very slowly because, as we'll like talk about later, I have a small business, and I also work quite a lot. And so it's hard for me to do like all 3 full time at
I
the same
definitely can
time.
understand
So
that. There's a lot on your
yeah,
plate right there.
so
So
I take like 2 classes each semester.
cool.
But yeah, so I'm just kind of taking it at my own pace and just
Okay.
having fun with it. But
So your background in Hastings, I mean,
yeah,
family all here then, or
for the most part, yeah. On my like mom's side, my whole
okay,
family's over here, and then
okay,
most of my dad's side is still in like South Nebraska, and
okay,
like yeah,
okay,
but
cool.
yeah, I have
Okay,
a lot of family here in
okay.
town,
Family's
so
what it's all about. That's so cool.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
so marketing, is that something you always wanted to do, or was interested in? I should say.
Hmm, not really, to be
Really?
honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I really found a love for marketing with like marketing my own business, kind of, and because I started when I graduated high school, I started as a psychology major.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
really? Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So quite a big switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started as a psychology major, and then I switched to business, and then I realized I don't really care about business
Well,
much.
that's good to know then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. I yeah, I just love making things look nice, and that's
Awesome.
kind of what marketing is, making things
It
look
is. Yeah,
like
getting
people would want to buy it. So
exactly. That's for
yeah.
sure. Well, I think you kind of, I mean, we first met over at Back Alley Bakery, which is a
Hmm.
business just a little ways away from here.
Yeah.
So is that something I mean, did you enjoy did you do cooking?
I did, yeah, and I
Really?
did
Okay.
waitressing as well.
Okay.
So
I could see that where you could actually presentation and everything there
yeah,
too.
I loved cooking at the back alley.
Oh, really?
That
Okay.
was a lot of fun for me.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So would you ever want to have your own restaurant?
Um, I thought about that quite a bit. Yay, bye guys. But really working at the back alley made me realize that I probably don't want that because I was really
Mhm.
close with like both of my bosses that I had there.
Okay.
And I realized that it is like a whole nother world
Oh,
owning a restaurant
oh
and
yes. Yeah.
being in that
Yeah.
business. Sorry.
Yeah. Very fine.
It is like 12 jobs in one
It
for
is.
one person who is the boss.
Yep.
And it it made me realize that I would love to work in a restaurant again, but
Mhm.
probably not own my
I,
own
I
restaurant.
am with you. Unless you've been in a restaurant, you don't know all the stuff. It
Yeah.
is so much that goes
Tons of
in. Yeah, it's just to get that, just like over back alley, just to have that case look beautiful and everything
right.
else. I mean, uh, yeah. No, I did
Hmm.
restaurant when I got out of college, and
Oh yeah.
no, that cured me of that really quickly, very,
Yeah.
very much. So,
For
so have you
sure.
been always entrepreneurial when you were really, I mean, younger kid, or I mean, did you have your own business then?
Gosh, not really. I think small businesses are just kind of like in my blood a little bit. Like
Okay.
my grandpa has had a small business for several decades. Don't ask me how long, but
Oh,
for a
cool.
really long time. And my mom, she owns Optica Curated Eyewear.
Okay.
And
Very
so
nice
I,
place.
yeah. And so she was starting that when I was a senior in high
Okay.
school. And so I don't
Okay.
know, I've just always kind of been like surrounded by it.
Which
But
I can understand that would make you gravitate maybe towards
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So siblings?
Yeah, I have one sister.
So is she entrepreneurial?
She is going to be an engineer.
Oh, wow.
Very
That's-
bright. Yeah.
Oh, I admire her. I wouldn't
Yeah.
even be able close to do that.
Yeah. So she's at School of Mines and Technology in Rapid City, South Dakota.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Very, very.
She's really cool.
I mean, your family is just, I mean,
Really fun,
awesome.
right?
It is so awesome. So, okay. Doing what you're doing right now, you're working actually at Bryant Bookstore, Bryant
Yes.
Bookstore and Music.
Yeah.
Is that something that you would like to do too, then, or are you musically inclined?
I was in a children's choir when I was younger.
Okay.
South Central Nebraska Children's Choir.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
I
Yes.
did that for about 5 years,
Wow.
and I played cello throughout high school.
Cool.
But I don't know. That really is just like a fun hobby for me.
Just
Like,
something like that.
like I was never really one of those kids that was like super super passionate about it. But I don't know. I love working at the bookstore. I love like working
It's
at
got
a
a great
counter.
vibe.
Yeah, and like talking to people. I used to be like incredibly shy.
Really?
Yeah, like
I would not have guessed that.
yeah. And then I started working at the back alley as a waitress, and my job was to talk to strangers.
True, very
That was,
much,
like,
yeah.
my biggest fear when I was younger. Yeah, but the past like year or two, I've really been able to kind of get out of my little shy bubble and like.
Yeah, and you really
learn how
have.
to
I
talk
would have
to people.
never guessed because it seems so easy for
I
you to
was,
talk to
I was
people.
so shy. Oh my goodness.
Because I was just going to ask you if you ever thought about being a speaker because you just seem to be so.
So sweet.
You do. You just seems to come naturally to you.
Wow, that's so sweet. I don't know, like, gosh, this is actually kind of crazy. When I was younger, not to get like too deep, but I was so shy that I would like cry in the bathroom before like school
Oh, you really
when I like
were?
had to do like speeches and stuff. But then just about 2 weeks ago, I pitched at a Big Idea Hastings in
Cool.
front
Very
of like
awesome.
200 people.
Oh, wow.
Right, so
That's a lot of people.
yeah, and so that was like a really special moment for me. For like, look at you, girl.
Look
Like
how far you've
you
come.
were,
My
you were so
gosh.
scared, and now you're
So
talking.
did that bother you with that many people? That would intimidate me.
Gosh.
This doesn't, but that would.
Yeah, I in a strange way, I think it helped that I didn't know like
Yeah,
anyone there.
I
Yeah,
hear you on
I
that too.
knew probably like 3 or 4 people when I walked in the
Yeah,
building, and I
makes
was
sense.
like, these guys don't know me, and I don't know them. So
Yeah,
this is good.
that can be a plus, that's for sure. So, but no, I could see you being a speaker. And then we talked before we started that
Yeah.
maybe podcasts with you and Nicole.
Me and Nicole Bryant, yeah,
Okay.
that would be very fun. We've kind of bounced around ideas for like a book podcast, kind of.
That would be awesome.
That would be fun, I think, because bookstore would
Yeah.
work really well. But...
Yeah, I think that'd be a win-win. I know that would be a win-win. So,
yeah.
so okay, got to talk about your businesses that you're
Yes.
running. So, what is the name of your business that you have right now?
It's called SketchDuds.
Okay.
And I'll explain the name if you don't mind.
Sure, that'd be awesome.
So basically what I do is I hand embroider and hand paint onto shirts and tote bags.
Okay.
And sketch, of course, is sketches, like drawings.
Sure.
And most of my designs are like not full completed designs. They're more like sketches.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
So that's where I got sketch. And then duds is a term used like in the 60s.
True.
For
Yeah,
like
for
clothes.
yeah, exactly.
And so Mary Vaughn, who's a local artist here in town, she helped me come up with that name. And I don't know, I wanted it to like be something, because I feel like SketchDuds is very like different and fun, and I wanted it to be something kind of funky and
I think that's awesome. So how did you come up with something like that?
So let me take you back. I started it when I was 17.
Okay.
And so it was my senior year of high school. And when I was a junior, I really didn't like school that much. So I wanted to take like as few classes as I possibly could.
Okay.
And then my school counselor was like, you have to take like some kind of extra class.
Sure.
And so I was like, just throw a drawing class in there. I've always loved drawing, but I mean, to be honest with you, I never thought that I was going to be like good enough to make it into something.
I know exactly what you mean. Yep.
And so I was like, that'll just be a little hobby of mine. So I started taking this drawing class, and I just like completely fell in love with it. And
That's
then
cool.
my junior year was when COVID hit. And so in March 2020, obviously, like I had all of this time.
Yeah.
So I started like drawing and painting, and I ran out of canvases.
Uh-huh.
And so I just painted on an old t-shirt that I had in my closet. And then
That's so cool. That's so
I
awesome.
and I like wore it around, and people would be like, "What is that? Where did you get that?" And I'd be like, "Oh, well, I painted it myself," and it was like not good though. To
Well,
be fair,
you got to be that way to start out with.
right. Um, but then I was at my best friend's senior photo shoot,
Okay.
and her photographer, and I was wearing that shirt that I painted,
Okay.
and her photographer was like, "You should make more of those. Like, I feel like people would buy those."
Mhm.
And just like that one person saying
You
that,
never
I
know.
was like, that's such a good idea.
Hmm.
And so then I it started just with like painting.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and so because I didn't know how to embroider, I like
Sure.
didn't even really know what it was at that point. Um, but then yeah, I just like started like a little Instagram account, and I
Okay.
was like, send me your ideas and I'll make a shirt for you. And that
Wow.
was really successful. Um, and yeah, then I just eventually I wanted, because I would paint words onto
Okay.
shirts,
Sure.
but it just looked kind of it didn't look as clean as I wanted it to look. And so
Okay.
then I learned how to embroider um to kind of
Kind
clean
of
it up a little
sure.
bit.
Give
Yeah.
it some definition or something like
Yeah.
that.
So
Oh my
and then
gosh.
now most of the SketchDuds designs are like fully embroidered
Are they really?
pieces. Yeah.
How long does it take you to do like an average piece then?
Uh it really depends on the like complexity of it,
Sure, that
but
makes sense.
roughly, like, I know this sounds crazy, but probably like 7 to like 25 hours
I can
depending.
believe that.
Yeah.
I think that seems quick.
Yeah.
I think that
And
seems not
I've
very long at
gotten a
all.
lot faster over the
Okay.
years. So
How did you learn to self-taught on embroidery? How did you do that?
a lot of people don't know this. It's so easy.
Really
It's really just like coming up with the ideas is the hard part. Like
interesting.
you need to have a lot of patience to be able to hand embroider.
Okay.
Because I mean, like I said, it takes
Yeah, that's
anywhere
quite a
from
few hours.
7
Yeah.
to 25 hours roughly. But um, yeah, I really just fell in love with the embroidery part of it. And I still love to paint too, but um,
So
it's just special.
if somebody wanted you to do one of those, how did they get a hold of you?
I have a website, and I have an Instagram.
Okay.
And so typically they would message me through
Is that
there.
okay?
And
Okay.
yeah, and I actually do customs, which is pretty much what you just explained. Like,
Nice.
but yeah, they just like come to me with an idea, and I work with them, and I show them different sketches, and that's all for free to just like
Sure.
sketch out
Just kind of
designs for
your
people.
consultation kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And then they tell me like, "Oh, I want that flower to be this color of pink instead," or
Sure.
whatever. And so then
So do you do, besides clothing, do you do any other
I
mediums or with like a different clothing or different not in clothing?
I do tote bags.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
I mostly paint on like tote bags, but I've obviously done embroidery as well. Um but yeah, it's really mostly like shirts and sweaters
Okay.
and tank tops. But
Okay. Okay. Very
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So where, okay, like in 5 years, where would you like to see this being?
That's a really good question. I don't really know, to be honest with you.
I can understand that
I
too.
I just love doing it. I
And that's
just
so good.
yeah, I just it's really just a lot of fun for me. I would love to eventually be able to do this as like my full-time job,
Very
you
cool.
know? I've thought about like doing like social media marketing like part-time, and then like SketchDuds part-time, making it a
Yeah. So,
full-time
so you got to make
thing.
it. Yeah.
Right. But I don't know. I love to make like collections of shirts, which are all themed around
Okay. That's
a like
awesome.
central idea. Like I did a Valentine's Day collection um like 2 years ago almost in February, and
Okay.
they were like red sweaters and pink sweaters and
Makes
like
sense. Yeah.
brown sweaters and
Uh-huh.
hearts, and it I just love like curating things like that, and just and I mean, like I said, just making things look pretty and nice. So
So, is there any other thing that's a dream that you haven't even pursued yet? Maybe on something like that, or
uh-huh.
something completely different.
I kind of do have something. I would love to make like an artist market here in town,
That would be
where
really awesome.
it's kind of like a farmer's market, but it's like indoors and it's year round. And
I
so
like that.
I can sell things, and like different local artists can sell their art in there. I feel like
Uh,
we could definitely use something like that
Yeah,
here. I feel like
and
that'd be
that with
cool.
the vibe in this town, that would go
Right,
perfectly.
yeah.
I mean, this downtown, as opposed to a lot of downtowns, really seems like it works together.
Uh-huh.
And just, well, it kind of any building that has burned down downtown, they make such a awesome green space, and then
Yeah.
those statues, those bronze.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that would be perfect.
Mhm.
So is your mom across the street? Is she into
She
this kind
is
of stuff
across the
too?
street, yeah. That was
So
actually, her idea to do, like, an artist
was
market.
it okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
she is, like my mom and I are very, very close,
So
and it's so
cool.
fun being right across the street from her as well. We, like, get lunch sometimes. It's
I
really
think
cute.
that is a
Yeah.
win-win, definitely. So,
Yeah.
and there's, oh no, I love that. So okay. So, what other things are you up to that you would like the audience to know?
Oh my goodness. Um, I just started a, SketchDuds newsletter, like
Very
an email newsletter.
nice.
So yeah, I don't have, I mean, I guess they could like message me through like Instagram, and I could add them to
So,
the list if anyone
okay,
is interested, but
okay.
yeah.
No, I mean that is awesome. So, when do you sleep?
Um, I have another job that I do as well. I work
Okay, I
in an
didn't.
office here in town, and I
Oh
like
wow.
sort their papers, and I like scan them through a machine.
Okay.
Um, I sleep, I
Can't be much. I mean, I know I have another job too. I mean, but
yeah.
I can tell you're passionate about everything you
Oh
do.
yeah,
I mean, you definitely are passionate about that. So, and that's the secret. I mean, that is definitely a
absolutely.
secret because it's contagious. I mean, people
Hmm.
can definitely pick up on that. So,
Oh, for sure.
so are you available if somebody wanted something for Christmas yet? Would you be able to still make something?
What day is it? It's November 20th. Whew. I mean, I probably could
Okay.
if somebody wanted something by like the 20th or the
Okay.
22nd or
Okay.
so.
I didn't know how
But
busy, and I didn't want to put you in on the spot here either. So,
yeah, but I can always do like birthdays and stuff. Really, I just for sure want like 2 weeks before
okay.
the event or
Okay,
the
that
day
makes
or
sense.
whatever.
Okay.
Um,
So, have you
yeah.
ever thought about doing a YouTube channel?
I totally have.
Have you? Well, I could see you actually with this process wouldn't be, and
Uh-huh.
everything, because I mean that would just kind of take it a step further, maybe from your Instagram, where
Yeah.
if do you do YouTube?
I haven't started anything yet, but I love to watch YouTube.
Me too.
I
Oh
Because
yes,
I mean,
time can go by so quickly on the
yeah,
YouTube.
and I just like
So,
grew up with that like crazy when I was younger.
mhm.
That was just like Rhett and Link, and like I don't know if you know who they are, but like those just I just really really grew up with that. Um, but I don't know. I It's funny that you bring that up because I've been thinking about it a lot more recently. Just because
Okay,
I
cool.
watch a lot of like art
Oh
related
yeah,
content
that's the thing nice about YouTube.
on
You can
YouTube.
just about find anything. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So,
So
um, so okay, I just can't. So the marketing.
yeah.
What would you like to do with that? I know your own business. Would you do
Mhm.
marketing for other people then?
You
Eventually?
know, my dream was to work for Nike. Was to do
Oh,
marketing.
that's
I
cool.
wanted to make like Nike like commercials. I love
I love it.
videos, and I love like making I should just do a YouTube channel. God.
You should.
I love like making videos. I do social media for my mom's space and her business, and I'm starting to do social media for Bryant's
Oh,
Bryant's
okay.
books.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, gosh, I don't know. It would really depend um how much SketchDuds has grown at
True. I can
the
see that.
point. Um but I would love to do marketing for other people and other businesses. That is such a huge passion of mine.
No, that is so awesome. And actually, I know a gentleman who I met in Vegas who actually got a Nike commercial. His Charlie Rocket. If you've never looked up Charlie Rocket,
Uh-huh.
he actually helps. He goes around the country helping people. He's got such a great big heart. And he was like ramp artist and stuff. He was their promoter and stuff. And then he kind of started having a lot of health problems because he was quite overweight. And he started doing these things and sending it to Nike. And finally, they did a commercial with him. And yeah, he's an awesome. I mean, he's got this great big mobile home that he goes around helping people. And but I should say, hey Charlie, I got somebody else that wants to do a Nike commercial because he came on. I actually saw him at an event in Vegas, and he came on stage in a bathrobe and slippers. I mean, he doesn't take himself too seriously. I mean,
That's what it's all about, though.
yeah,
right?
it is. But no, when you said that, I thought, oh, well, maybe I don't know. In fact, if you go to Charlie Rocket, he actually has a commercial he did for Nike on his social media,
cool.
And but no, it's interesting that how
Yeah.
I can see you doing that. So
Thank
I
you.
could definitely. So Lexi, so what are some other hobbies you like to do? You like to travel?
I love to travel, actually. I travel to see my sister quite a lot in
Okay.
South Dakota.
Okay.
And I went to Germany with my parents when I was 14, and my sister as well.
Nice.
So that was super, super cool.
Mhm.
And we're just a very like travel heavy family.
I think that's awesome.
My
I love traveling too.
mom and dad just got back from London like 3 weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
So they were there. But yeah, I've had my share of like being around the United States. I have learned that I love Boston.
Oh, really? I've never been to Boston.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, I would love to move to Boston one day.
Cool.
And my like dad he's a really big like Red Sox fan.
Oh,
So
perfect then.
we went
Okay.
last summer to see a game, but yeah, Boston has a fantastic atmosphere. If you're ever looking to go somewhere in the
I have to
US.
put that on my
Yeah.
to the top of my list. No, it's the best education because you really get to see what it's like. So,
Yeah.
so did they like London when they went?
Oh, absolutely. That was my
Okay.
mom's second time being there.
Okay. I've never
So
been there. I
me
mean,
neither, but
I've been to Frankfurt and Munich and Germany and in parts of Italy, and
Mhm.
I could always live in Italy.
Oh, I
So
bet.
it was definitely different than I thought, and that had all these preconceived things, and then when you get there,
Right.
it's like, well, I didn't need to learn. Everybody spoke English.
Yeah.
It's just I had my phone ready, and then I had done the exchange for the euro, and everybody took credit cards. It's like, okay, this isn't like I thought it would
It's like
be.
a new world.
It is.
Yeah.
And the food was so I could be
Mhm.
Italian. I could definitely say.
We all
So what are some other hobbies you like to do?
Gosh, I love going for walks.
That's good. I think it's great. I think that I'd love to go for walks because I mean I do a lot of thinking on walks.
Me too, yeah. And I love hmm. My mom bought me a cello a
Okay.
couple months ago, and
Okay.
I played cello throughout high school, but I stopped after high school because, like I said, it wasn't anything that I was like taking super
Sure.
seriously. But yeah, I play cello sometimes, and I really enjoy that. And I played like ukulele,
Yeah, I love that too.
stuff like that. But
Oh,
yeah,
gosh, your YouTube channel could be so. I mean, so many things on there.
I know.
So if somebody wants you to play the cello or the ukulele, would you do that for somebody?
Oh boy.
Like for a wedding or I don't know, a ukulele might be. I can see it. Hey, that might be interesting wedding. So
Gosh, I would have to practice. I am like rusty.
no, I think that is so. So any other instruments you want to that you haven't learned how to play that
Oh
you
my
want to?
gosh, I wanted to play saxophone so badly when I
Oh,
was
I
younger,
love saxophone.
but I don't know. I just was kind of intimidated by it.
Yeah.
But gosh, not really. I would love to. I Oh my god, I would love to play the piano.
Oh, really?
That is
Oh, that now I know.
That is
Yeah, I was gonna say you've been directed a lot of different ways, and I think you're getting directed here again. So,
yeah, I could see myself being like 40 and having like a piano tutor and like learning how to play properly. I feel like that would be something that I
then
really
the
would.
recital, and
Right.
that's awesome.
My grandma played the piano and the organ for like churches,
Nice.
and just like listening to her play is such that was like so much fun in my childhood, and
Mm-hmm.
I love the piano. I could just listen to people play it all day
Yeah,
long.
it is.
I have to like marry someone who knows how to play the piano because that is like I just love it so much. But
No, it's and Nicole will probably hear that, and she'll like, so you want to play the piano? So
yeah, sometimes she'll sit down when she comes in and she'll just play, and it's just
I
like,
admire people that can make that look so easy because I mean, or anything,
uh-huh.
because it wasn't. It took a lot of time to get to that point. So
It's such a beautiful instrument. Yeah.
it is. So Lexi, anything else before we end the podcast that you would like the audience to know about?
Gosh, I guess um I it took me so long to do something with art, and I mean so long. I was 17, but
Okay.
it took me a really long time to want to do something with art because really it started out with me thinking that I wasn't good enough,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Oh, you can never make
Yep.
something out of this," and
Imposter syndrome.
yeah, and I think like I was so like under the impression that your art has to be like realistic art or like gallery ready art in
Exactly.
order
Yeah.
for it to be anything, but
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. I think that it's important to remember that like you have your own unique style and
Amen.
you're your
Yep.
own unique person, and you can really make anything out of whatever you want.
I
So,
agree. And I think that does stop a lot of people on a lot of things because, well, for one thing, they think they have to be good right off, from start. And it's like, it evolves. And, well, I do this podcast differently than a lot of people think I should.
right.
And it's just like, no, it's my podcast. And if I didn't do it the way that I want, I wouldn't be inspired to keep doing it.
Absolutely.
So, and it's just like, it's going to be the way I want, and that's the way it's going to be, and it is. It's just like take that first action, take that first step, whether it be art, podcast, or whatever it is, playing the piano, or or anything like that. It's you have to, and the first step, I think, a lot of times is the most intimidating. But
Absolutely.
and everybody does because I went through. I thought when I started this, like, who's going to want to listen to me, But the imposter syndrome,
People do want to listen to
yeah,
you.
and
Yeah.
they do, and it's just you just forget about that. Just do
Yeah.
what your soul, your heart, is
Absolutely.
so important to follow that, and forget about the noise because there's a lot of noise because there's gonna be a lot of people directing you towards what it should be like. So very good
Right.
advice, and
Thank you.
and I can tell you definitely from your heart too.
Yeah.
So very cool. So
Yeah. It like people don't think that it's true, but like people want to listen to your podcast and see all the art that you're making, and they
they do
they want to hear your song that you made. Like
exactly.
people
Yeah,
people care, and
yeah,
especially I feel like in Hastings, like
I think
it's
so
such a
too.
supportive place, and
Yep,
people want to buy books from your bookstore. They
yep.
want to buy glasses from your glasses store.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
it's really
And I
cool.
think a lot of people are so critical on themselves too.
Yeah,
It's just like, yeah, they do. You have some. Everybody has something to offer.
we're all so cool.
We
Like
are. Yeah, and everybody they just like, well, everybody has a backstory. Everybody's going through something,
yeah,
which is it's just like, yeah, you'll go through something, but use that story to put it into your art
for
or
sure.
whatever it is, and it's a win-win,
Yeah,
definitely. So, and I can't
absolutely.
wait to see you and you having your podcast. So,
Yeah.
you two together with even I mean you both having your own podcast. I can see that too. So, and
Absolutely.
I might I always ask I ask, which wasn't that long ago, what was it that you wanted to be when you were a kid? What was your dream then? Because most people forget the dreams that they had
Yeah.
as a kid.
Um, when I was younger, I really wanted to be a teacher or
Really? Okay.
I wanted to be a zoologist,
Oh
or I wanted
wow.
to like work in a zoo.
Okay.
Not necessarily like be a zoologist,
Okay.
but I wanted to like be in a zoo atmosphere.
Makes
But
sense.
really it was like teacher was my
That's awesome.
main dream, but
So would you ever want to do be a teacher, like a traditional teacher?
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking so much recently.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's
I'm like
good.
20 now, so I'm like not a teenager anymore, and I'm like, whoa, I need to like figure out what I'm doing. No.
It'll show up. The
Right.
path of them will definitely show itself as you go along.
Yeah.
So, because that's another thing I talked to, and it's like, I can have this all figured out. It's like, I don't even know if I have it figured out at my age.
Right.
It's just
It's hard.
It is very hard, and it's just like, never thought about that. So maybe I like that now. So, but
I have so many like little passions, you know, and so
passion's
it's
good.
hard to choose like one
It is
like full-time thing.
Yeah.
You know, so
well, and I think what you're doing is, I mean, and for one thing, that's the way to figure out what really is maybe the main passion too. So I think that is so cool. But well, on that, I might have to have you and Nicole do a podcast together if you would be considering doing a follow-up one. Okay. I mean, when you get your podcast, so we can do. I'll be on your podcast, and that there we go. So I will plan on that. I look forward to that. So, but Lexi, thanks for being my guest on the Dream Catcher podcast. Very much enjoyed it, and have a good rest of your day. And I look forward to when we do the next podcast.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.